Well, the Super Bowl didn't go our way, and still the Minnesota Vikings are waiting for their first Super Bowl championship. But today, we have the off-season as we try and get this team ready for a Super Bowl run in year 2. We're going to go through free agency, go through the draft without our first round pick, of course, and there are some big decisions to make in this offseason. What do we do with Sam Bradford now that Teddy Bridgewater should be coming back from his injury? We're going to find all of that out today here in the offseason, jumping around between the different aspects of the offseason to get this team ready. So let's begin. First, we'll do a quick recap of Season 1, not spend a lot of time on this. But we went 12-4, we're a wildcard team because the Lions decided to go 14-2 this year. However, we were able to eliminate them in the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl, where we lost by 6. This year, of course, we did not have Teddy Bridgewater. We traded the first round pick for Sam Bradford, and he didn't actually play all that much because he was injured himself for a lot of this season. He ended up with 4 touchdown passes, 5 interceptions, while Shaun Hill had to play for majority of the season. And oh my goodness, we did not pass for 3,000 yards. Oh wow. And we had Charlie Whitehurst play a little bit as well, that's right. Season 1 was kind of weird, but thankfully we had a great season from Adrian Peterson with nearly 1,700 yards as he handled the running back workload again. Receiving, Stephon Diggs did not have a breakout season. Our passing game was so under where I thought we could be. So Diggs had our best season, but it still wasn't great. Laquan Treadwell produced decently given the circumstances. But our pass game has to be a lot better in year 2 if we're going to make the same kind of run. On the defensive side, of course, this was the main strength of the team, keeping teams off the scoreboard. And here is Brian Robinson leading the team in sacks, 10.5. Interceptions, we have 3 for Anthony Barr, his college teammate Eric Kendricks, and Trey Waynes. So the defense is in very good shape moving forward. However, a lot of these players are still on their rookie deals, and smart decisions have to be made about who you pay and how much you pay them to keep this nucleus as intact as possible. We're going to keep our staff intact here. Mike Zimmer has a contract through 2018. We're going to keep him around along with Adam Tanksley, our scout here who focuses on the offensive line. And Nick Anderson, world-class regression here. Can't do any better than that. Well, the offseason is underway and players are retiring. Here we go. Antonio Gates has retired along with Tom Brady, Terrell Suggs, Jason Witten. Anybody else? Any other big names? There's Julius Peppers. I almost thought Bilal Powell retired there, but no, he was cut for salary cap purposes. There are a lot of those here, and we'll see who is available. Kareem Jackson, we're good at cornerback. Looks like Mike Vick retires. Devin Hester. Anybody on our side? Oh, wait a minute, look at this. Best-selling jerseys. Teddy Bridgewater is still on the list despite being injured. Look at that. I think he outsold Sam Bradford. Well, we had a few players retire. Charlie Whitehurst, Chad Greenway, Terrence Newman, and Shaun Hill. All players that don't really surprise me. So we're good at corner. We should bring in a linebacker. Need a new backup quarterback because can we really keep Bradford and Bridgewater on the roster, especially when one could be used to help us get some picks? Well, you got to make a decision there. James Harrison retires. Any other big names? Anquan Bolden. Not going to spend too much time on this. Steve Smith. Sebastian Janikowski. Just kind of cycling through this here pretty quickly. But our next step is to start re-signing players. And here are other players who have been re-signed. A lot of big contracts handed out. But let's get to our players that we need to sign. Almost $10 million a year here for Matt Khalil. Man, we may have to make him a lower offer. He has slow development. He's basically capped. He's reached his ceiling. And he has some good ratings here, and it's going to be tough to find tackles in this range that are going to be a better value. So I got to make an offer, but I may not be able to make the fair offer. You see, I'm kind of thinking right now that this could be an option for the franchise tag. So if I can go a little bit cheaper, that would be awesome. Actually, he wants less than $8 million a year, so it's not as bad as I thought. but I still want to give him kind of a lower offer, being that he's not like an elite tackle, and he's going to test free agency unless we don't tag him. I'm not surprised about that. Who else could be recipient of the franchise tag here? We don't have a ton of key free agents, but still got to make some decisions on players who do play important roles, like Captain Munnerlyn, who's overall on here is just so low. It should not be this low. Now, he's 29 years old. We have Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander, Terrence Newman just retired. But I think a 1 year, around $3 million here for Captain Munnerlyn could be a good choice to... oh, he's not interested actually. Okay, so I still want to keep Captain. I want to at least give him an offer, because like if one of those cornerbacks gets hurt, like if Xavier Rhodes gets hurt, how good do things look then? You want a guy like Captain at least. Can't find my pen. By the way, pay attention there. We have $37.9 million in cap room and still have Adrian Peterson and Sam Bradford on the roster. It just, we don't have like a left tackle right now, so I can't really look at that quite yet. But how about Cordell Patterson? You guys know I'm a huge fan of Cordell, although 72 catching, 61 route running. He's a returner. He is a kick returner, basically. Gadget guy on the offensive side. I want to keep him around, but he's one of those guys where it's like it just makes more sense to probably try and negotiate in free agency when we can see what the market looks like. And he's going to test, but I think that we can get him for cheaper. So we're going to let Cordell test there, no problem. Willie Beavers is a free agent. They just drafted him in the 4th round. I'm not sure. And I like the run and pass block. He's at least a good backup. I have no problem with this deal here. Does he? Yeah, we got Willie Beavers back on the team. But who else? Let's see. Andre Smith. His ratings are going down. He's 30 years old. There's not much upside here moving forward, and he'd still cost $4 million a season. We're going to let him walk. Then there is Mike Harris, who has 84 run block, 84 pass block, 338 pounds, 28 years old. And I think that we can keep him around for a few more seasons and probably still get some good years out of him. I'm going to drop this a little bit. I'm not afraid of letting him test free agency and seeing where things go, because I think that, I'm trying to manage this cap as good as I can, especially knowing that all these defensive players, should we continue this season on for more seasons, or this series for more seasons, those defensive players, they're going to command a lot of our money, and I want to be able to have enough to keep them. Okay, there's Matt Asiata, and we're going to withdraw any offer here. He's not very fast, there's not a lot of upside, and now he's 30 years old, so it's kind of time to move on. Now, we could pay Jeff Locke here, although he is kind of a below-average punter here. What does it say he is? He's 34th. There are 32 teams. There are punters who can't even play that are ranked higher? Yeah, we're withdrawing this offer. We're going to find someone on the street, or we're going to find someone in the draft. We're not going to draft a punter. I'm not going to spend one of our few picks remaining here on a punter. So we're going to get somebody for half price, no problem. Zach Line doesn't really have any great ratings to be a fullback, so if we're going to keep a fullback on the roster, it has to be someone who offers more upside. Shamar Stephen is a player that I think could still improve quite a bit. He's 26 years old. He has some of these key ratings here in the high 70s, and I wonder how much XP he has to actually spend here. Is there any way of telling that, like in a hurry here? I'm not sure. But I definitely want to keep him around, so make him the baseline offer here, and it works. Let's see, Audie Cole, always liked him, and he's going to stay. We do have David Morgan on the roster, and while I like Rhett Ellison, he has 68 run block, and that would be his main role, so I think that Morgan's going to give us a better option moving forward. I like Charles Johnson quite a bit, but I don't think he's going to do a lot more improving at age 28. So I'll let him test free agency, maybe bring him back a little bit cheaper on like a 1-year contract, or maybe we find somebody else to fill in a depth receiver role. So franchising Matt Khalil would cost us $11.3 million. I think I'd rather roll the dice here and see what happens in either the draft or in free agency, because I gotta keep the cap in good shape here moving forward. So we're gonna let it go like this. I have taken care of all these players here. You can see who I've re-signed, who I have let go. Kept around Audie Cole, Shamar Stephen. And then there are some of these practice squad players, and I guess they're still under contract. I'm not really sure. It just gives me the option for franchise tag. Well, I'd like to keep some of these guys around, but I guess I'll have to wait and see. And I want to keep around Mobo for sure. So this brings us to Sam Bradford. He did not do a lot for us this year, and he is still under contract for another season. He is age 29, a 78 overall with a confidence boost. So lower rated and older than Teddy Bridgewater. I want to keep around Teddy Bridgewater. I like Teddy quite a bit. He's going to be back from his knee injury for next year. He can still do a lot of developing. He's 24 years old. There's still a higher ceiling for him, and he's already in a pretty good spot to lead this team. So Bradford is on the trading block, and I'll see if I get any offers next week. If not, we're going to go into manual offers mode and see what we can get for Sam Bradford. Hopefully get some draft capital for this season. Well, we're in free agency now. Here are the top players. Nobody over an 84 overall, so no big names, but still some chances to make this team better. So where do we begin? Easily right now, our biggest needs are at left and right tackle. We could also use some right guard help. Joe Berger thankfully has stuck around for at least one more year. We could use another receiver. I would like a back off the bench to provide some power. And then on the defensive side, probably try to get captain back or look for a cornerback. Maybe strong safety. It has to be a really good option for us though, as Sendejo is an 80 and he's pretty good against the run. And then there's Jaron Curse, who I think has a pretty high ceiling and a lot of XP here to spend. I have a lot of XP to spend in general here, and I'll do that later on. And then an outside linebacker, of course, to replace Chad Greenway in the starting lineup. Well, right tackle does not look good at all, and we may just want to wait to address right tackle until the draft or after the draft. And for left tackle, the best option was our option, Matt Khalil. There's David Bakhtiari, who will cost a little bit more. He's a little bit younger and probably has a higher ceiling. But man, this is kind of rough, knowing that it's not easy to replace these offensive linemen, and we're going to have to spend more money than I want to. I kind of feel like we don't have much of an option here. I placed a bid on Matt Khalil, looking at, what is it, a $20.8 million salary, $8.24 million signing bonus. I think it's a little bit cheaper than if I had tried re-signing him during the regular re-sign period. There's just so much competition for Bakhtiari, and look at that, an 86-point bid, and there's multiple teams in that range, and it's only the first week. So I'll try to do Matt Khalil. He'll be cheaper, even though it's not like an ideal fix. I talked about perhaps bringing back Mike Harris, but look at the Cardinals have already made an 84-point bid. I may want to go to Jermon Bushrod instead for maybe just like a one-year fix. His ratings are okay for this point. If I do a low bid though and there's no competition, then we can get him for a really good value here, maybe even under $3 million. So I kind of just remembered that Brandon Fusco has a pretty big contract, yet he's not a very good pass blocker. He has 84 run block, 80 impact, but we have to improve our pass protection. He is ranked the 36th best right guard in the league. So I think that we need to look at this contract, which if I can see what's remaining here, he's due, 4.31 for the next 2 years, and it jumps to 6.8. So what is the penalty here if we decide to release him? It's going to free up 2.33 and incur a penalty of 1.98. We're going to do that. That does give us a little penalty now, but I won't have to worry about it in future seasons, as his price was just going to go up. So I have the bid in for Jermon Bushrod, and we'll see when we sim if there's any competition. Right tackle, I think we're going to wait. So beyond that, time to try finding some value. What if we see what Paul Dawson could do here? I'm not going to give him a big 4-year contract, but maybe a 1-year kind of prove-it deal. You guys know I like doing these in my series. He's a player that could stop the run, 80 speed. I think his athletic ratings will be a little bit lower, like agility, but I like the pursuit and the hit power, and it might make for a player that could be pretty good on either special teams or against the run. Alright, returning to Captain Munnerlyn here. I know it says 72-man coverage, but we play quite a bit of zone on here, a lot of cover 3. So that 2.8-man coverage isn't usually exploited all that often. And I'll make the offer here, 2.75, a low bid, but the only bid. So we'll see if he takes that. What about backup quarterback? What do we do here? Because I want to get rid of Sam Bradford, but who do we find to be the backup quarterback now? I think that our best options are either Nick Foles or Mike Glennon, and there are no bids for Glennon. He is a year younger, and I think I'd be pretty happy paying like around 3.5 for a couple years of Glennon on the bench. And that's a pretty good bid right there. I might even want to make that a 3-year offer just in case. And we'll see how good this is here. 68-point bid. Okay, we're going to sim past this stage now. There really wasn't a lot to talk about for free agency. I mean, it was a really weak free agent pool, and it couldn't really offer us a lot of benefit. But we did get some contracts accepted here. Matt Khalil is back. So I was able to save some money here. The franchise tag would have been $11 million, so we're okay. Mike Glennon, Captain Munnerlyn. Returning from injury, Stephon Diggs is available to play again. Yeah, that'll work out for our spring league, I'm sure. Okay, then we have scouting to do, which I haven't really showed you guys a scouting board yet, and that sounds a lot more exciting than this free agent market right now. By the way, here are the left tackles in this upcoming draft class. We have 4 first-round prospects here, and guess what we don't have? So beyond that, it doesn't look good. You almost have to overpay for someone in the low to mid 80s. So that's kind of what we did, and I think that we came out with maybe the best option. Right tackle, that's still kind of ugly as well. Maybe we try to get someone of value. We do have Parrish Royster here with at least a B- pass block, but impact block is low, and he's probably more of a backup anyway. Man, this is tough. Definitely thinking about the future at running back after Adrian Peterson, and one of my favorite players on here is Gabriel Fair. A 7.2 combine grade, very good bench of 4.53. Not the speed of Adrian Peterson, but we can't always compare these incoming backs to Adrian Peterson. A stiff arm, A- carrying, B trucking. He could be that power guy off the bench, maybe even a one-day starter. Here we go. How about Christoph Leak, outside linebacker from Duke, who's a 5th-round prospect. And he's got amazing agility, and he's going to have great strength with B block shedding and A- hit power at 6'2", 230. The dream here is that he could even cover. He's got the type of build you would look for from like a coverage linebacker, but it looks like he's going to be really good at stopping the run. Wow, this guy is one of my favorite prospects I've seen at outside linebacker, and he's a 5th-round prospect. This is a perfect situation. If we're looking for a center of the future, we have a lot of options here, and like these skill sets are kind of all in the same range. Not like any elite talent, but these players look pretty balanced and are kind of mid-range guys, so at least we have 6 choices here. Another prospect I like here, Glenn Bussey. He has B pass block, B- impact, C+ run. Could be another young player that we look for some offensive line help. That's one of the better offensive linemen I think that I've found in terms of value and overall skill set even. So that's going to work. But as far as right tackle, we may struggle again next year with this situation. Oh man, wouldn't it be nice to have a 1st-round pick, because we could go and get another Teddy. Teddy Wilkerson from Alabama. A- hit power, A- power moves. This is an elite prospect right here. When you have traits that are this high, this is what an elite prospect looks like. Top 5. And I wonder where he's going to go. I'm going to write that name down, Teddy Wilkerson. And I'm going to make sure, or he better not be going to a team in our division. But hey, I'm always looking for gems here because it's easier to draft them. It's just easier to rely on drafting a player that is better than they're projected to go. Deshaun Berrien, B+ power move. Pass rush depth, not a great athletic testing combine report, but for a 7th-round prospect, pretty solid. So nobody wanted to offer for Sam Bradford this week. So we're going to find a team that needs a quarterback here. Who needs quarterback help? By the way, here are the picks we currently have. Thankfully, the Vikings were able to take the 3rd and 4th rounders from Miami when they wanted to get Leonte Carroo. They gave up a lot of future capital to do so. So the Vikings have a 2, pair of 3s, pair of 4s, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I forgot I could use this screen instead. They have low interest in Sam Bradford, so let's just cycle through and see when the colors change. Okay, the Jets like him. Who else? The Patriots definitely like him. I wouldn't mind getting a player, honestly. It'd have to be the right situation. The Ravens. Okay, I didn't think about Baltimore. Write them down. There's Houston. I'll circle them. Not going to trade to the Bears. But that gives us options. So I'm going to figure out who gives us the best value. What if we could get a 1st round pick for Sam Bradford after trading a 1st round pick for him? They're not interested. It's good value, but not good enough. Hey, if I can get a 2, have 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s. What do you say? Want to make a deal here? Not interested? You're kidding me. Well, they don't have any players that I'm really interested in for what we could actually reasonably get. They do not have a 4th round pick, so what about a 3 and a 6? How about a 3 and a 6? Declined. What if we take off the 6 and make it a 3? Come on! Could I get a 3rd round pick from the Houston Texans? No, they don't seem to like... Man, they all say they like Sam Bradford quite a bit, but they don't want to give up anything to acquire him. How about a 4 and a 5? I'm not sure what it's going to take here. Okay, how about just the 4? Just the 4. That is still declined. You know, I didn't expect that to be such a difficult process. So right now, until someone gives me a good enough offer or the right opportunity arises, I'm not just going to give away Sam Bradford for a 5th round pick because he's worth more as a backup quarterback if we can afford it. So I guess he'll remain on the team for now. And I'm assuming a lot of these players now have been signed as we go back to free agency. That was kind of ugly there. So Justin Pugh stays in the same division, goes to Washington. We have Eddie Lacy out to New York. Washington also gets Malcolm Butler. Benny Logan on the move. Martellus Bennett back to the Dallas Cowboys. Shaq Barrett to the Lions. That's a good move for them. David Bakhtiari to the Bears. Willie Snead to the Lions. They also get Robert Blanton. Okay, why the huge market now for Paul Dawson? There are 4 teams in the mix now, and I'm not going to compete at this range, so I guess have fun. But where was this in the first week? Alright, we did get Jermon Bushrod, and now our next stage is the draft. I just decided that I wasn't going to offer a lot of contracts in free agency. There weren't a lot of players that I was interested in, and I just kind of want to see what can we get in the draft first because I don't want to be handing out contracts to players I don't actually want to end up using. Now, I did not go back to see Cordell Patterson. I forgot that, but I'd still like to bring him back as our special teams returner. Hopefully he's still available. I saw Garrett Blount to the Packers. He replaces Eddie Lacy. Alright, it's time to get to the fun stuff now. We have the NFL Draft. We'll take a look at my watch list here first. And there are some first round picks on here because some could fall. We could want to trade up. Who knows what our situation is going to be. But man, we don't pick until 61 overall. So these second round picks here and even below, this is kind of where most of our pool has to be focused around because we're not going to get elite prospects without trading up or getting extremely lucky. So, it's time to begin the draft. And we are underway here with the first off-season draft here in the Vikings franchise as the Bears go defensive end first. What are they going to do at quarterback moving forward then? Then there's the Colts, they go linebacker. All these defensive players coming off the board. 4 in a row. 5. And a tight end at number 6. Okay. Okay. And we're right back to the defensive train here. I like this because I'm not looking to target these spots. There's a tackle going to Cleveland. Eagles will pick twice in the first round. They have our 31st overall pick. Look at that, all those receivers coming off the board now, and there were plenty of good ones. Nothing really catching my eye quite yet. Take a look at my watch list after the first round is complete, as our pick is about to be made basically, or our old pick is. The Eagles end up turning Sam Bradford into a guard, and we'll see what the 4th round pick turns into. So let me just take a look at my draft board now. What does my watch list look like? 1 first-round player remaining. It is a running back. Then all of these second-round prospects. Now, we still need to address offensive line. We did get Sebastian Vollmer. We have another year of Joe Berger. But thinking about the future, maybe a guy like Sean LeBlanc. And we'll, of course, look at all these positions individually and be like, okay, where's the best value now? And if we're to look at guard, it's probably Glenn Bussey over Sean LeBlanc because we prioritize pass blocking and then determine the value. But I do think that we might... Man, there's a chance we could go defense here on our first pick. There really is because... Well, I mean, I like a lot of these defensive players, but most of them aren't supposed to go in this range. If we look at our overall list, we have like a quarterback, guard, defensive tackle, defensive end, some running backs. Man, this is kind of a tough situation to be in here. Well, there goes LeBlanc to Denver, so basically 1 right guard option for me remaining. And that's definitely something we have to address. But we're getting close to finally being able to make a selection here. And all these receivers are coming off the board. We're almost there. We can almost make a selection. And, oh, we're almost there. I can almost see our name. Where is it? 63 overall. Did I say 61? My mistake. Hey, we're on the clock. Let's go. Vikings at pick 31 in the 2nd round, 63rd overall, and no one wants to trade, so it's time to make someone the newest Minnesota Viking. So on my watch list, only 2 players are actually projected to be 2nd round picks, and they're both running backs. Then the next best player is also a running back. So is this the spot where we say, okay, we have to think about the future, and this guy could replace Adrian Peterson, or at least be a good back for us. And we know Peterson's not going to be at a high level forever. I like Gabriel Fair. He has the highest combine grade here at 4.53. 4.36 here for Gerard Gibson at A- carrying, good spin. But his bench press, his strength is not going to be there. So Gibson, they're both pretty good sized backs, but Gibson offers more speed and Fair offers more power. So looking at Gerard Gibson, we have a very fast running back. His agility scores weren't great, his strength wasn't great, but he does have B spin move. Then you look at Fair, A stiff arm, A- carrying, B trucking. We know his strength is going to be high. I'm all over Gabriel Fair in this spot. We're going running back, and he is ranked 23. Nice. So Fair has 87 speed, 90 acceleration, 90 carrying, 93 stiff arm, 84 trucking. If we have our running back of the future, I'll be very happy with this spot here as we select Gabriel Fair. Ranked 30th in the league already. 85 agility, 78 elusiveness. I'm pretty happy with this, to be honest. He is the player I hoped he would be. So when do we pick again? 68. We're not too far from that. So let's just skip down to that spot. And nothing was off the board for us there that I was looking for. Gibson ends up going to the Giants. So let me remember to look at him when we're done. So if we look to address the future of our offensive line in this spot, I think our best choice may be Parker Fountain, even if we don't play him at left guard. I have some centers that I like, and they should still be on the board later, and I don't think they're as good at prospects as Fountain. There is still Glenn Bussey, though, and I like him quite a bit. B pass block, well, Fountain has B-, but he comes with a balanced skill set. Impact blocking a little bit low. And then at right tackle, it's not really... There's not a ton to look at least in this range. So we're going to go running back, then left guard, Parker Fountain, and it is a good pick. 80 pass, 86 run, 91 strength. If we raise awareness and impact blocking, we have ourselves a starting guard. Not too bad. I like what we've done so far. Now I have to wait a little bit longer to get to our second pick of the third round. Remember, 2 3s and 2 4s for us at the moment. Almost there. And here we go at 95 overall. We'll pick again at 100. Wow, the watch list is starting to shrink quite a bit. Now we're at mainly day 3 prospects plus Glenn Bussey here at guard. Now, we did just take 1 guard, so now do we need to take Glenn Bussey? We have Alex Boone. We still need some center help, and did all the centers go in that range? Most of them did. There's still Justin Landry from North Carolina, who would probably be a pretty good developmental guy to start at some point in the future. But now we may have to go to the defensive side of the football. There's Joshua Tolbert. We have some pass rush options. Christoph Leak, definitely a big fan. Let's see, Joshua Tolbert, how did he grade out here? Nothing really stands out, but he does have B+ power moves, which tells you he has an elite trait. So I'm interested in that. Glenn Bussey, huh? What if I go off the watch list? What do we have then? Didn't scout everybody, of course, but don't think I let anybody slip through. So let's go back to the list. And I think, you know, some pass rush help here might not be a bad idea. Let me take a look at all our options. Deshaun Berrien is right there with a similar skill set who could go later, and he's also bigger, 263 pounds with this skill set, so that's interesting. Probably a worse athletic tester, but they both had pretty low grades. Just seeing like a 4.840 for Berrien, that's not great. At the right side, I definitely like Christoph Leak. I do not want to miss out on him. So we're going to take Christoph Leak right here. 77 overall, and he was 56 in true talent with quick development. He's got speed. He can stop the run, 90 hit power. Now, can he cover? If he has low 70s coverage, we're in good shape. 73. Okay. I'm really happy with this selection. Christoph Leak to replace Chad Greenway. This is a really, really good spot to be in right now. This class is coming together. We're in a tough spot here, especially like it's hard to address certain needs that need to be addressed now. Like the offensive line has to be addressed now, but there are also things that project off into the future. A lot of this has been future based, but that was a pick that can definitely help us in the present. Now pick 100. Round 4, pick 4. Looking at the watch list, we're down to these prospects. Could get a pass rusher here. We have our 5, 6, 7 remaining after this. So we're not picking for a while after this pick. Actually, you know what? Never mind. We have 2 picks in the 4th round. I forgot about that. Thought we had just made our first 4th round pick, but no, we pick again at 127. There's still a good distance between this pick and our next. So a lot of that watch list is going to disappear. So got to make this one count. I was looking at who I didn't add to my watch list, and there's a really interesting prospect here. Lincoln Cash from Appalachian State, 6'1", 209, and he ran a 4.43, has great agility, and did pretty well everywhere else. B- hit power, C+ zone coverage, C+ tackling. Bit of a project. We do have J-Ron Curse, but maybe Lincoln Cash isn't a bad pick here. Let's go for it. He's a 78 with superstar development and 33 in true talent. 92 speed safety. Oh my goodness, this class is awesome. 76 zone, 78 tackling. We may have found a player who can compete to be our strong safety starter. Man, I want to see the rest of those ratings. But I guess we'll have to wait. Lincoln Cash, though, at number 100. This class is turning out to be fantastic. Well, there goes Glenn Bussey to the Philadelphia Eagles. I already took one guard. I considered taking him there, but knowing what we have now in Cash, yeah, I'm very happy with our selection. So we'll pick again at 127 here in a second. And to think, he wasn't even on my list. He wasn't on my watch list. I was just trying to make sure, go through, see the value of these positions. Like, I like this guy in the 5th round, but there are 5 guys in the 4th that are supposed to go in front of him. Different things to consider. Man, that is exciting right there. The way this class is turning out has me pretty happy. So let's go to the watch list again. And now, still a lot of 5th. A lot of the prospects I liked late. So, what do we do now? We haven't addressed center yet, and that's going to be a need in the future. Could get a pass rusher in this area. Not exactly a weakness of ours. We go to center. We have 2 options still. There's Samuel Darden and Justin Landry. And I'd give the edge to Landry. B- run, B- pass. Decent tester. 4th round. We're not picking again now until late in the 5th. So I think in this spot, because there are 2 centers I like and one's a 7th, then you look at the pass rushers. There's still a 7th rounder I like. So if we look at it this way, I have 2 linebackers I like. One available now, one available in the 7th. 2 centers I like. One available now, one available in the 7th, but could be available in the 5th or 6th round. We're in the 4th right now, so I don't have to reach too bad in this area. There's Parrish Royster. I just wouldn't be crazy about that pick. Oh man, what do we do here? Joshua Tolbert's best player on the board probably, so it's hard to argue against taking him right here. Tolbert is a 68. We reached. He has 87 power moves though, so we reached for a player who has a defined strength. So that's not too bad. This round went well for us. I did not see a lot of the names that I wanted go off the board. So pick 31 in the 5th round. And here is the updated watch list. Justin Landry is there. We addressed pass rusher a little bit. So now we can afford to take some more risks. We have not addressed right tackle yet. However, I just don't see a lot of great options. Dan Everett is the best option. And even he only has C pass block, B- run block. So I don't know if I want to go in that direction. If we look at just overall availability, there are still some 3rd round prospects, but a lot of them I already know some information about. Dylan Anthony, here we could go and just roll the dice on a wide receiver who doesn't have much agility at all. 53rd, didn't jump well, didn't run that well. Well, I mean, 38th is what I'm looking at, not the 4.53, which is fine if he has other abilities to back it up. There's Will Yancey. So I may just have to stick to the list here and try taking a player I know has some potential. And at center, they're both still available. We're going to go Justin Landry right here. And he is a 71. It's a good value. And I like that that set of traits. 87 strength, 81 run, 80 pass, 77 impact. Not too bad. And here we go again. Now it's the 6th round. And who is it going to be this time? I like this class, though. I have a pretty nice class. It's a class that I like so much that I'd be willing to take a risk here, but I just don't see where it's, like, advantageous to try and take a risk. I'd like to bring in a receiver, 4.27 with agility. Ben Chavez from Penn. Let's go for it. Roll the dice. 96 speed. He's ranked 348, but he has 96 speed, 95 acceleration. What else can you tell me here? 89 agility? Well, if Cordell Patterson doesn't come back, we have a returner on the roster. Alright, one more pick we skip quickly. Second to last selection in the draft. What is left on my watch list here? Can I snag some value? No, I cannot. So I'm going to be taking another risk here. There are only like 5 draftable players right now. Vincent Arsenault. Not very strong, but a 4.47. What do we go for in this spot? A couple D tackles. We know one has B- as a run stopper. Now, I don't normally look at punters in these draft classes, but I've never seen a 1.0 combine grade. Look at this. We have a 5.36 40, a 20.9 inch vertical jump, a 3 cone of 8.29 seconds, and 4 bench press reps. This is the lowest combine I've ever seen. We're going to roll the dice here with a right tackle, see if we can find a gem to close this up. Quincy McCullum is a 68 overall. 74 pass, 71 impact, 77 run. You know, kind of a backup quality player, but we could have done a lot worse, to be honest. And there you have it, everybody. Teddy Bridgewater is back, and our draft is complete. Teddy Bridgewater back as our starting quarterback. Not sure we need Mike Glennon now, but I assume at some point we will unload Sam Bradford when the time is right and the price is right. But we did a pretty good job in this draft. I'm really happy with it. Let's take another look. Gabriel Fair in the second round, Parker Fountain in the third, then Christoph Leak, Lincoln Cash, Josh Tolbert, Justin Landry, Ben Chavez, and then Quincy McCullum. So I was just really happy with our first 4 selections. We got quality offensive lineman, a potential replacement for Adrian Peterson, a linebacker to replace Chad Greenway, and a strong safety who could compete for a starting role in his first season. This has to be considered a success. What do you guys think down below of this draft class? We're going to take a look now at our division rivals and see what they were able to do, starting with the Green Bay Packers, who took Ben Tutton, left tackle. They took 3 tackles in their first 4 selections, and they got some good ones here. I saw Tutton here as like the best tackle, but I didn't think he'd be around our pick, and he wasn't. And of course, he has an amazing trio of picks here, so they let David Bakhtiari go. Bears paid a lot for him, and they end up getting a replacement who is similar skill level for a first-round pick. Not too bad. They also ended up with some lower-rated players here, but they nailed the offensive line picks here, and then Craig Amerson will compete, it looks like, with LeGarrette Blount. Lions, what did they do? Marquise Hobson at D tackle, Jamario Bullock at receiver, J.J. Wake. What can you tell me about Jamario Bullock? I can pull up this menu here. They got a pretty good receiver, 95 jumping, very good possession receiver. That's not too bad. Marvin Jones, watch out. And then there's the Chicago Bears. Did they take a quarterback? They did. Philip Pantel. And that's not a bad selection at all in the 3rd round. That's really good. So we'll see him at some point this season. But they also took Rashad Mayo. It took Tyree Moton, Oscar Cromartie, Sean Armour. Not a bad class here for our division rivals, in my opinion. Let's just cycle through it. Anybody like really destroy this draft? I'd love to know that. Well, hey, look at the Cleveland Browns. They took 2 players, 80 overall. They got a quarterback who's a 76, Trey Friedman. Is he actually good? He looks like he's pretty good and has quick development. DeAndrew Dykes. You know, they got a good receiver here, a starting wideout. Of course, they lost Terrell Pryor, so it's kind of a lateral move if you look at it that way. They managed to find a good right tackle in this class. They got a cornerback here to play opposite Joe Hayden. Like, you can't Be mad at what the Browns were able to do in this one. Well, here are the Giants, and they took 2 running backs in the 2nd and 3rd round. We'll compare Gibson to our selection in Fountain. So we took Gabriel Fair in the 2nd round, then had a choice of a lot of different running backs. The Giants took the other running back I was considering, Gerard Gibson. He was a 79 overall. He was the faster back that I just wasn't sold on based on his top 3 in Combine. But he has 93 speed, good acceleration, carrying, juke, spin. What else is there? Let's see, not much of a blocker, 63 catching, but a pretty good athlete. He's not a bad running back at all. Wouldn't have been a bad choice, but I want to see if Fair can turn into an elite power back. The Patriots drafted 2 quarterbacks, the best being Logan Schaefer from Tennessee. 93 throw power, very accurate. There are some good quarterbacks in this class, so some quarterback-needy teams are going to be pretty interesting to watch here in this next season. So now we've made it to preseason, and I can look at signing a few more veterans and young players, and we're going to start by signing Sebastian Vollmer. Need some right tackle help. We have some stopgaps there. And now we're going to go to punter, because I don't have one right now. And what do we want to do in this spot? How is Cade Darius? Not as accurate as you would like. Let me sort it by accuracy here. Find someone with good power. How about Jared Robinson from Memphis? Perfect. We have ourselves a punter. We're finally going to bring in a new fullback, and here is Tevin Drew from Wisconsin with 80 trucking, 74 speed. Should be a decent blocker for us, an upgrade over Zach Line, and he gets the 1-year contract. Now, what I'm going to do is end the off-season here, and I want to know from you guys in the comments, do you want to see any of the preseason? It'd probably be best for me to do it in more of an edited style like on my main channel, like just play the 4 games, get the highlights, show you guys what happened. That way we can actually see how some undrafted guys did, and I haven't signed a lot yet because I'm not sure if you guys want to see the preseason. So the next episode can be a preseason video, or it can be just jumping straight to week 1. What do you guys want to see? Kind of leaning towards actually playing some of the preseason and getting a look at some of these rookies and actually being able to have these position battles. But what do you guys want to see in the next episode? This was a fun off season. We had a pretty good draft, I thought, and here is a look at our roster now. As we go to quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater's there on top, Adrian Peterson at 32 years old. Then at receiver, we need some players to step up and break out more, and hopefully Stephon Diggs and Laquan Treadwell can do that. Good at tight end. Offensive line, I thought, got better, but we have some short-term fixes here that need to turn into... We need to get some long-term solutions out of here, and I forgot to move Parker Fountain to the right side. That was my mistake, but he can still play over there. Defensively, just need to probably add a little bit of depth at defensive end, cut some of these defensive tackles, figure that out. I definitely want to see how Christoph Leak can play, as he could be a day 1 starter in the base. Then we have Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander, Captain Munnerlyn, same corners. At safety, a lot more competition now with the addition of Lincoln Cash. So we shall see what is in store here in Season 2. And guess what? We have a first-round pick again. So, next episode could be preseason. It could just be week 1. But I want to know what you guys want to see down below in the comment section. Let me know. And also, did you enjoy this offseason, and how did you think we did as far as bringing in new players and the decisions that were made? Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, leave your feedback below, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.